I think the idea radical, that word is a scare word used in many contexts. But what isn't radical to me is the idea of addressing violence in all of its forms. And one of those is denying human needs and human rights. I propose that we should make food a human right. So I'm going to be posting a Substack later. I'll show you the link to get access to that below. But in broad strokes, when I look at what it would take to guarantee food for everyone, I find that not only do we not produce all the food we could ever need, for some things we probably need to trade a bit, but we have more than enough to feed everyone. And the fact of the matter is, we waste a ton of food. So that tells me, when you look at it, we have some structural problems, we have some policy problems, we have some leadership problems, and we have some narrative problems. And I posted earlier about the idea that there is a tremendous amount of money spent every single year by various organizations and billionaires to fight against the ideas of socialism and communism. I also want to say that the happiest places are the places where people rate the happiest are in social democracies, where they make it easier for people to get their wants and needs met, paid for with tax dollars. So change is possible, but we have to fight the narrative war. We have to fight the entrenched reverse incentives interests wars, and we have to have a collectivist endeavor. So please check out my Substack. There's also a video that goes along with this that talks about how, in some ways, we already kind of have a model that could be scaled significantly. Like the military PX, which I've shopped at when I was in the military for a while. They provide low-cost groceries to the soldiers, probably in part because soldiers aren't paid very much. So they need their food to be subsidized to some extent. And they're able to operate, which is publicly funded, and the profit margin is like 2 to 3%. You should look at even the best models that we have in the private sector, which is like places like Costco, which they have about a 13% markup. In other grocery stores, it's like 33%. So where's the rest of that money going? What are the problems? How can we tackle this issue? The nice thing about being someone who is not afraid of the words that they've tried to teach us to be scared of, like socialism and communism, if you're open to exploring other ideas, and if you have this sense that government should serve the people, and that public things can work, and they tend to be able to work better, because when you have the power of government, when you have the power to regulate, when you have the power to harness lots of data and work with lots of other interested parties, you can do things that the private sector will not do unless there's a profit motive. And unless we fix this problem, we will continue to have millions of people per year that are not eating. And I prefer universal programs because that is how you get the broadest support. And once they're in place, they are hard to take down by moneyed interests because they're too popular. For example, things like the healthcare systems in Europe that are covered, everything is covered. They're like a universal model for everybody. And social democracies, good luck taking those away. Same thing with Canada. We're the only one out of 33 nations that doesn't have a universal healthcare model. I think we need a universal healthcare model, universal childcare, universal free education. And I think people should have a right to food, shelter, and opportunities to have leisure and travel. Because when you have well-connected communities, people that have their needs met, that also has a dramatic impact on reducing crime. If we did these things, we could reduce crime down to basically zero, and also end a lot of for-profit industries that prey on people and induce massive amounts of suffering, which is a lot of wasted dollars, and it's a lot of cruelty for cruelty's sake. I don't believe in that. I believe in human rights. I believe in reform. I believe in restorative justice, and I believe in truth and reconciliation and human rights to solve conflicts and diplomacy. I think if we work together, we can have a better humanity for all of us. It is time to toss away stupid narratives that better things are not possible. I think if you hear people say, that's too pie in the sky, I think you should probably leave the conversation there or ask a follow up question. So, is your position just don't do anything, just give up? Or do you have ideas for how we could fix things and just struggle with the idea that we have big hurdles to face? Are you up for the fight for all of us? Or are you giving up? Because I need to decide if I should invest in this conversation or if I should move on to someone who's a little bit more serious about tackling issues that affect us all. I'm not just an individual, I'm part of society. I want to make a better community, and that's the big community, the global community, not just locally, not just in the States, not just in my state, in my area. I believe in a better world for us all. And that means tackling problems and figuring out where and how we can scale and how those can be applied to other places that fit. Check out my Substack. Thanks.